That's right, we're right back here. We're at Sharp Facets Gallery in my studio in the back. Yes, you're listening to WCRS. And have you ever felt all kinked up and you didn't know what to do? Well, you know, when you go to get a massage, I'm telling you what, you can literally spend quite a bit of money. But if you want to save some money, and who doesn't want to do that, how about going out to the massage therapy clinic out there at Piedmont Tech? I have today, right here with me, Michelle Liggett. She runs the place, and I tell you what, she doesn't take any guff from anybody, do you, Michelle?
No, I don't.
Well, that's great. And, of course, the massage therapy program has become a huge program out there at Piedmont Tech, hasn't it?
It sure has. We've been very busy, especially as of late. With the economy booming the way it is now, jobs on the increase, people want to get some more stress worked out of their bones and tissues. They come to see us, and let me tell you, as soon as we opened up, which was the 15th of January, we have not stopped.
Wow. But how about the program itself? How is it doing?
It's doing very well. It's alive and well. I have 14 students in the program right now, and they are working overtime, learning about anatomy and physiology, advanced kinesiology, rehabilitation, pathology, basic pharmacology, exercise physiology, and ology.
Okay, that sounds great to me there, Michelle. I tell you what, one of the ladies we have with us today is Frances Adams. How are you doing today, Frances?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing good. So, how'd you get involved into the program?
Well, actually, I started out in the nursing program.
Okay.
And I've been in the medical field for quite some time. Over the years, I've been doing medical this and medical that. And I just decided that I wanted to help people and help them get rehabilitated.
So what part of the medical field were you in?
Well, I used to be a secretary in labor and delivery.
Okay.
And I was a coder
Okay.
in medical terminology.
Right. So this is really your first experience of, what shall we say, hands-on?
Actually, it is.
Well, that's great. That's great. But I just, you know, as far as going into it now, you're not 20.
No, I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'm over 50.
Over 50.
Yes, I
So
am.
how has Piedmont Tech been able to help you, being a going back to school type person? How has that been for you to be an older student, if you don't mind me saying that?
I don't.
Okay. How has it been for you?
It's very beneficial, and I tell you, I'm enjoying it because actually all the learning that I have gotten, I've been going to Piedmont Tech since 2009.
In 2009. Okay, wow.
I have. I started out in the nursing program, as I said, but I ended up with Miss Liggett. She taught me law and ethics also.
And she, she snaked you away from the nursing program?
I came on my own with a little bit of help.
Well, you know, that takes a lot of courage to go back to school as an older person. I mean, you know, there's computers, there's all this stuff. Has it been tough?
Sometimes,
Sometimes?
but I enjoy it though.
But you've kept yourself motivated and kept going.
Actually, I'd rather be going to class than going to a job. This kind of life.
Well, now, and so you were in your final semester, is that right?
No, we graduated in August 5th.
Okay, so it's coming up though. You're
It
going to
is.
have to go out and get a job.
A little
Are
bit.
you going to go back to school and take something else?
No. Actually, I'm thinking about opening up my own parlor once I finish my massage parlor.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty.
Oh, yes.
That sounds like that sounds like a big step.
Well, I've been told I got good hands when it comes to the massage, so you know, I'm ready.
All right. So when you see the shingle hung out there with Frances Adams and it says "Good Hands," you'll know who we're talking about.
Exactly.
We're not talking about Allstate, the Good Hands people. We're talking about Frances here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You know, I think it really is admirable when an older person goes back to school, because it takes a lot to walk through those doors, doesn't it, Michelle?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
I've seen all ages, like Little House on the Prairie in this program here.
Yeah.
Everything from 18 years old to in their 60s even over the last 9 years that I've been teaching.
Sure. but it's still it's got to make you proud when somebody graduates from the classes and goes out and becomes a success. And I'm sure you have success stories.
Yes, I'm so happy when I see the success of those individuals who have put forth the effort and are now exercising what they've learned and handing it back to the community. There are several people that were in Greenwood today out in the community. One working for Dr. Tinny Oots, that would be Crystal Sears. Another one, Jennifer Scott, who was also in Greenwood today. She's over at Palmetto Medical. She acquired that facility with the massage therapist that did have that, had gone off to Arizona and turned it over to her. So she's been plowing away since 2010.
She's been pounding the flesh,
so to speak.
Yeah. We can have too much fun here today.
We can.
Yes, that's right. Now, Ashley Miracle. I got confused here. I'm sorry, Ashley.
Okay.
But I've got to ask you, a few years ago, I know that Michelle had quite an exercise program going for y'all. I mean, I heard she used to make people run around the building. Does she still do that?
Oh, we ran this morning. Well, ran in quotations.
Okay.
Wink.
Yeah. So she does still make you work out, huh?
Oh yeah. We have to be able to perform. You know, it's extensive working on somebody. You know, just today I saw a man who, he works out all the time. He's a personal trainer. If I wasn't up to par, I wouldn't be able to hammer away on him and get him worked out like he needed to be. So.
Sure. And what made you get interested in working in massage therapy?
It was sort of I was in a point where I didn't want to stay where I was, and I didn't know what I needed to do. My fallback plan fell through, and my mom actually introduced me to Michelle via telephone because she works at a different campus. And, you know, you give your loved one a massage, and they're like, oh, that feels great. Well, I was like, well, shoot, I'm good at this. Let me start taking classes, and I love it. It's awesome to see the direct results. Like, they walk out feeling better, you know.
Sure. Yeah, that's got to make you feel good. So, what do you plan to do? Will you graduate in August also?
Yes, ma'am, I will. I plan to work with a physical therapist or potentially chiropractor. I'd prefer physical therapy.
Yeah. And so you'll be looking for a job.
Yes.
Yes. Now tell me, Michelle, is it difficult for somebody who's good with their hands to find a job?
No. It wouldn't matter if you're doing massage therapy or basket weaving. If you want a job, you put yourself forth out there and you go get one. And in massage therapy, according to the statistics and reports of the labor and statistics for the U.S., 23%, it is much faster than average on job growth.
Wow.
And they projected that out to 2022. So, and we have not stopped. You look around, you see shingles going up left and right. You see therapists in with chiropractic. You see them with medical arts buildings. You see them in rehabilitation. We've got somebody doing an externship right now at Self Regional Hospital, which we have to draw a contract up with to be able to do that. But they are working left and right. We have medical arts, like I said, facilities, spas. The Omni now has one of my graduates as well. The fitness center here in Greenwood, Clinton, Lawrence. Therapists are everywhere.
You know, it really is amazing the change towards the attitude towards massage therapy, isn't it?
Yes, and I think it's more of the looking at preventative maintenance versus a scalpel. And the way to do that is looking at your life in a homeopathic way, such as what am I eating? Am I exercising? How come I don't feel good? What can I do about it? I don't want to pay for health care because it's still outrageously expensive. What can I do to prevent having to fall back and walk around in pain? And so even though we're massage therapists and we're out in the field, we're more of a neuromuscular capacity now. Yes, we still do the Swedish, but now we're doing what's called PNF stretching, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. We are giving...
That sounds dangerous.
It feels like it too when we put you through the workout.
Yeah.
We're taking you to the gym. We're doing it passively and actively and working with the client. And when they leave, if they had some kind of postural distortion, they're not as stiff as they were. They're more rehabilitated. Maybe their range of motion has improved somewhat. We don't claim to fix anybody, but we are learning what it takes to help people get educated on their own health and wellness. And that's what America is turning to, health and wellness.
Yeah. Well, we've had to kind of change our philosophy, haven't we?
We sure have.
So this has been a boon, and I know that the field of massage therapy sure is expanding, and particularly when you talk about working with physical therapists,
Right.
working with chiropractic, and even in the hospital scenes now, they're starting to use some of these other venues that.
Right.
Even yoga and mindfulness and, being aware of your breathing and all this type of
Absolutely.
stuff.
St. Francis Hospital in Greenville are a fine example of that. They have yoga. And one of my best friends out there, she's a massage therapist, and they've got her on hire. They have this new oncological hospital that St. Francis looks at out there, and they're teaching oncological massage. As a matter of fact, that lesson was supposed to be going on today and last over a period of 3 days. Lymphatic drainage for those that post-cancer or surge and have inflammation. I just did an extensive course in manual lymphatic drainage, and I just got my certification. It's a lighter touch. It's more of a stretching the skin and working with the lymphatic system. So in the massage therapy program, they have to learn about the human body in all levels: muscle, nervous, lymphatic, cardiovascular. They have to learn those systems so that they can understand that if there's disease somewhere in there, they're able to identify it and work with that. Plus the medications. For example, Coumadin, aka warfarin. If they go in too deep, somebody can bruise. And maybe that client wants you to go deep. Go deep! A lot of them say, deep! But then you look at their medication, and it shows that if you go too deep, you're going to cause a contusion, and then what?
Right.
You know?
Well, we're going to talk more about that when we come back. We're going to join South Carolina News in Progress. Don't you go away, because we'll be right back. Hey, you got a question? Give us a call, 229-7984. That's 229-7984. Oh, that's right. We're right back here, Sharp Facets Gallery. We've been talking about muscles. Francis, how many muscles are there in the human body?
At around 640.
640 muscles. Can you tell us all of them?
No, ma'am.
It is amazing that we function as well as we function, and you got to think our hearts and our brains and everything, aren't they amazing that everything just kind of flows together and works?
It is.
Yeah.
It is very amazing.
Yes. And so I guess when something gets out of kilter, that's where massage can really come in and help out a lot for connecting the connectors maybe a little bit. Yeah?
Getting that cardiovascular system to function more efficiently.
Sure.
Getting the muscles warmed up, getting oxygen to the muscles. That takes blood flow. And if you're cut off through contracted locations of your body, then you develop adhesions. And so massage therapy comes in and they release some of those. When people come in all jacked over, they want us to tackle the area of pain. Well, we don't go right to that site because that's the effect of a contraction. We identify the contraction, and then we go to that area first.
Now, when you're running the massage therapy clinic out there, this is just like if you went in for a massage. You actually have to do a medical checkup with them.
This is how serious it has gotten. You learn to take health histories. You have to look at medications, pathological conditions. There's certain ways to lie people on tables also. For example, a COPD. Girls, tell me what COPD is.
Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Well done. Okay. And so you might have to elevate people. Some people can't breathe effectively lying flat on their backs, and so pillows have to be engaged. And you have to understand the pathology itself. So when people come in, we do the health history. They pay a minor fee, but that's really a donation to Piedmont Tech because they're not licensed professionals yet. Then we give them a consultation, and questions we have from having looked at their paperwork. Maybe we don't understand something, we ask, they define it for us. Sometimes they don't cough stuff up until they're on the table. Like, oh, by the way, I had cancer. Well,
Nice of you to share with
thank
me.
you.
Yes.
Hold your horses.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes when we call out into the healthcare facilities and we request a verbal over the phone and then a follow-up doctor's note, people get upset with us because other massage therapists who have dropped the ball on this safety issue are doing massages on people where they should have gotten a doctor's note first. But the college is spot on when it comes to that. Safety is number one, and it should always be. Because that doctor may want to advise us, and not all doctors have given us permission to massage when somebody has had cancer or thought they were in remission or it was no big deal. I had one the other day. He refused, and this female had 2 doctors, so her GP gave her a no-go on massage, and she went to her oncologist, and he said, sure. They're both doctor, so she got a massage that day.
Wow.
But, you know, we get a fight every now and then. Then we make you walk for us. We want to see your gait as you stroll away. We have you do an about face, stand there. We look at your shoulders. Is your head cricked over to, like a suction cup, your ear to your shoulder? Is your hip elevated? Is your hand across your thigh? So now you have rotoscoliosis. You've created those conditions yourself, populace, by poor body mechanics. And then you complain about pain. And that's where we come in. We say, hey, you've got a high left shoulder. Oh, look at your right hip. That's high too. Oh, you're rotated. We can help you. But we've got to identify your distortions first and then identify the muscles related to that distortion so we can unload them. And quite frankly, we start you supine, which is face up, because we've got to turn those shoulders back to their resting position. We do so many positional movements where our shoulders are coming towards our sternums. We're on Game Boys, we're on phones, we're on typewriters, we're on technology, we're driving, we're eating at the dinner table. Medial rotation, medial, 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 constantly. And then guys, that wallet in your back pocket, get it out. It's causing you rotation at the pelvis. Long term, you're going to suffer low back pain. So if you talk to chiropractic, they'll tell you, pull that wallet out and put it in the front pocket. You can save yourself a lot of aggravation that way.
Sounds like you can save yourself a lot of money.
Yes.
Since you don't have that much in your wallet to begin with, probably.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know, these are things that you don't think about. And, you know, originally our society was a working society. When we think of farmers and all this type of thing, people
Right.
worked and they exercised.
Yes.
Now you can spend 8 hours at a desk and then go home and fix dinner, and then what do you want to do? Sit down and plop on the couch.
Exactly. From one chair to the next. We call that the seated chair victim. So there are all kinds of contractions going. You've got to bend your knees. So your hamstrings, bend your knees. Then you're seated and you're leaning forward again. You might as well look like a chair on your way out. And when the clock strikes 12, when you get to that point where it's no longer soft tissue and it's compression, you look like the chair at 65 or older. And we can't turn the clock back, so sometimes you're in there for orthopedic surgery because you did one maneuver too many and you're no longer as resilient as you once were.
Wow. God, makes me feel terrible about myself. But these are the things, and that's what's so important. The program out there at Piedmont Tech teaches you all these things. Now, how long is the program that to go through to become a massage therapist?
It is a 3-semester day program running Monday through Thursday, starting at the end of August and ending at the beginning of August. So you're there pretty much for a solid year, minus a few breaks here and there and holidays.
Okay. And you learn a lot about the body. Now, what do sometimes people go on from massage therapy? What would be the next step if you wanted to go on and do something beyond that?
Okay, the level what we're teaching it in massage therapy is, of course, muscles and kinesiology and basic pathology and all that. But now you have that basic foundation, and it's pretty secured in there. You can move on to PTA, OTA, in other words, physical therapy assistant, occupational therapy assistant, doctor of physical therapy. I've got several people that moved on to that one, and some into occupational therapy assistant. You know, some are 2-year programs, some are 4-year programs. It's up to you, but the bottom line is this. You've learned about range of motion. You've learned about rehabilitation, and what better way to spring off of and go into a higher level platform than to come in through massage therapy and learn the basics. It's basically pre-rehab you're learning.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking it has to be a good basis for that. Now, the massage therapy program, you've opened up the clinic again. It is, what are the hours and when is it open?
Okay. The hours for clinic operations are Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. ending at 3:45 p.m. And the donation fee is $20 for the community and $10 for employees of Piedmont Tech and students of Piedmont Tech.
And then how long? It started, what, January 15th, and it'll go through?
It'll go until the 30th of July, and then the students will graduate, and everyone will have to wait again until January 2016.
Okay, so, but this is a great opportunity. If you've never had a massage, this is an excellent way. If you are familiar with massage and you just want to see what the difference is. Now, what type of massages do you do out there, Michelle?
We do, of course, the standard Swedish massage. We do site-specific neuromuscular therapy. We do lymphatic drainage. That's a lesson they're getting ready to learn. We do reflexology of the feet. And we also do deep tissue. And so those are the basic functionalities that we do in modality over there at Piedmont Tech.
And they're basically all 1 hour?
Yes, 1 hour. Sometimes we have requests for half an hour. The chairs are better for more quickie in and out. I need my shoulders and head and neck worked on. Sometimes people come in for that, or we go to site visits and we perform chair massage, but it is generally 1 hour.
And as far as once you've gotten in the system over there, then you don't have to give a history again or all that kind of stuff, do you?
Well, for each class has to go through it again and again. So you might come and be seen this year, but when that class graduates and you come back in 2016, you'll have to fill out another health history. Now here's the thing, health changes.
Sure.
So every now and then we might ask, has anything changed in your health history since you've been coming? And they do, and sometimes it requires a doctor's note. Sometimes people leave slamming doors angry at us because they had a condition that required a doctor's note, and somebody failed to ask them before they showed up to the clinic, which would have saved them a ride. So I get all that, and I apologize to anybody I may have offended. but your health is our concern. And all of my therapists, when they hit the field, they're going to continue to be concerned and want doctor's notes as needed for pathological conditions that call for it.
Sure. So this is the real deal out there. And I think you've done an awesome job. I know the community really appreciates the fact that you open that up so they can get a lot of training.
Yes, thank you, Ellen. And Ellen.
And Eller.
I can't
Yes,
even
okay.
talk. I can't even talk. I gave you so many compliments.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got great students, and I continue to have wonderful people coming through, and they do learn a lot, and it's very demanding. But I'm with them on every turn. Wouldn't you say?
We never do anything new.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Hey, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Oh, that's right. We're right back here, Sharp Facets Gallery. Yes, I'm Ann Eller. And, you know, one of the things we haven't talked about is what about somebody that's had a heart attack or has a pacemaker?
Good question. Well, first of all, I'm getting a doctor's note. If they have a pacemaker, obviously they have a chronic condition concerning their cardiovascular system. Now, here's one for you. Several years back, somebody came in here with a pacemaker. We had to get the doctor's note. We took a verbal, but before we got that verbal, that doctor's office called the company that made the pacemaker. And here's the thing. We do a thing called tapotement, where you beat on people's backs and,
Right.
and soft tissue areas.
Feels really good when you do that, yes.
It
yes.
does. Well, the company said to the doctor's office, hey, you know that thing they do where they hit you in the back, they slap you and they beat you? Well, don't do that.
Did you put that in your notes? Is that something new
I
you've been
did.
teaching?
I trained it because I didn't learn it when I went through my course. But, you know, I wonder how many backs I've been beaten, you know? Probably none, but pacemakers, you do not beat their backs with tapotement, which is slapping, beating, knuckling. You don't do that. You can send a signal and give dysrhythmia. So, not good. Although we are trained in CPR, we don't want to respond to an MI, myocardial infarction, you know.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. And, you know, when you think about, you know, so many people like to massage somebody, you know, give them a, you know, as a personal thing. You know, that's something you probably ought to be something that a doctor should tell the patients, right? That you
Yes.
shouldn't do this, because how many times have, you know, you see it in the movies, this is good, and you start
Right.
beating on the back of somebody. Oh, it feels good, honey.
True.
Yeah.
It can happen. And so going back to pathology, you have to be able to recognize, granted, it's not within our scope of practice to diagnose, but we have to be keen on what we're looking at, signs and symptoms of disease. We have to know these things so that when somebody presents and becomes critical, we can respond and refer out.
Right, exactly. So if people would like to see about signing up for massages, you do this Monday through Thursday from 12 to 3:45.
Correct.
How do they sign up?
They can call our number at 864-941-8785.
Okay.
And if we're not answering, it's probably because we're in class or it's an off day. Leave a message and we will get back to you.
Okay. Now, and how far in advance do you need to call? I mean, is it hard to get appointments?
Can be the same day. If we have space available, we'll put you in. You can take your chance and walk in. If we have space available, we can put you in.
Now, how many tables do you have in this massage therapy?
We have
department now?
12 Oakworks tables that were built and designed for massage therapy specifically.
Well, okay, so you've got 12 tables, and I guess all the students, all of the students work it during the time in the afternoon?
How I've got it operating is it runs like a clinic so that when they go out into the community from cradle to grave, they can respond with little to no supervision. So I've got two people in the front. One's a manager, one's an assistant. 2 people in linen, changing tables and linen. The rest are massage therapists. That's how I have it arranged. And then we cycle through like a watch bill in a military stand down.
There's no military background there, is there, Michelle?
Only 20 years of Navy.
Frances, how have you found being through this program? It sounds like she's a taskmaster to me.
Oh, she's easy.
She is
Very
easy.
easy.
Don't
Very.
say that; it'll ruin her image. I mean, she likes this.
Well, I'm only telling the truth.
And Ashley, what about for you? How have you found this whole experience?
I like it. It's structured. We don't really have to worry about much. She's on the ball, so it's nice to have somebody go, okay, you need to be here, here, here. It's like a list, and we kind of can be self-sufficient with everything she gives us.
Sure.
Which is nice.
And how do you feel that you are at the point that you're at? How do you feel you are progressing? Are you confident? Do you feel like you know what's going on?
Oh yeah. Some of my favorite parts are when I come home and my mom's like, I've been looking at the computer all day in my head. I was like, I know how to fix that.
Okay, all right. Well, that has to be a great satisfaction there, Ashley, to be able to do that, to be able to know how to fix people.
It is. It's nice.
It's nice. Yeah, that's great. All right. So, and how has we just started this in January, the clinic part. How has that been for you?
Good. My arms are getting bigger, So, no.
Yeah.
They really are.
Popeye arms.
It
okay,
is. They
yeah.
will.
Yeah.
I feel like, starting, people were like, that we have an evaluation that they do on us, and you can see how you progress. And today, like I said, I had the most fit man I think I've ever had, and I surprised myself that I did as deep a tissue as he wanted. So we are getting better.
That is great. Now, can somebody request the same person? I mean, I know this is you get so you like somebody and this type of thing. Can you request, or is it luck of the draw?
That's a good question. The answer is no, you may not. And I tell you why. Because all of the students need the same kind of training. You can't get fixated on one particular student, although it's very complimentary. We love it, the fact that you love someone. But we have to give everybody a fair shake to get the experience they need to be efficient, as Ashley was talking about.
And what about when they do come in after they've done the history? Does the massage therapist look over that sheet before she actually goes through and starts the massage?
Yes. They look over the health history provided, the medications they're on, because they have to determine how are they going to deploy their routine? How deep are they going to go? What kind of maneuvers are they going to make? What's the modality they're going to utilize? Those things are very important to what's going on in the health history, and including that consultation afterwards. So yes, the therapist is held responsible for looking through the health history and asking those pointed questions to the client. And what's going on here with this? I see you had a broken arm. Was this last week, or you didn't put a date on here or anything? this medication, I don't recognize it. They can also look it up on the computer too, medication, and it points to them which system it relates to. And if they look at the whole picture of the person, they can see how it all falls into place.
Sure. Now, is the massage therapy, is it individual rooms, or how does this work?
Well, it is set up with curtains that are cordoned off, just like in an ER. The former dean, Lena Warren, set it up like an ER because she went to other locations and saw that would be the most efficient way to handle a large room. And let me tell you, that works out well. We have tables there and also little sideline tables as well as the massage therapy table. And they can put their things on top of that and a chair. There's room to get around. That's very important. Ergonomics.
Okay. All right. So, Francis, if you had to do this all over again, would you do it?
I most certainly would.
And what do you have to say to people that are a little bit older and maybe they think, oh, I could never go back to school? What do you have to say to those people out there?
Actually, I hear those comments all the time about, how do I hold up or whatever, because you know what? I would say give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. If that's what you want to do, give it a shot.
You say it's never too late?
Never too late.
Never too late. Well, I think it is amazing, and I think it's great, and we'll be looking for your shingle. Have you thought of the name of your business yet?
No, I'm not really.
Not really? Okay. All right. Well, I just thought I'd ask, maybe you had a dream here of a name that you thought of. I think she does. She just doesn't want to tell us right here.
Well, actually, I did say out one time, Divine Hands.
Divine Hands. I like it. I like it. All right. Well, you know what? We are right here at WCRS, right here in Greenwood. Michelle, it's always a pleasure to have you here. What's that telephone number one more time?
Thank you, Ann. That telephone number is, of course, 864-941-8785.
Monday through Thursday from 12 to 3:45. Plan to spend an hour, correct?
Correct.
All right. You are listening to WCRS right here in Greenwood. Gosh, Ashley and Francis, we wish you the best out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.